Siblings Unscripted is back for another week, another video, another topic. Back with my lovely sister as always. And this week we got a special topic. We're actually going to be talking about some of the shows that we be watching. And one of the first ones up is actually going to be Married at First Sight. And again, fellas, let's normalize us watching these reality shows, these relationship shows. Even if you got to watch it by yourself, even if you're not watching it with your lady or your significant other, if you're a dude and you watching it by yourself, it's totally okay because I watch it by myself and I love the show. I watch every season. So this season is actually what? Season 8? And
No,
what season is
no,
it?
Married at First Sight had. I'm not sure what season it is, but they had a lot, and I've binged them from the very first season that they've done it. So, and the one thing that I watch that you don't watch on it is I actually watch when they pair the couples. Like
Oh,
you don't have
yeah.
time for that, but
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
No,
But
I
this
don't have
time it
time.
was beneficial to see why the couples were paired because a lot of the episodes they have to go back and show them why they put people together because this whole season is a bit controversial when it comes down to that type of thing.
Right. And this
So where
time
you want to
they're
get
in
started?
what? What city is it? Chicago?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm
so
not sure.
Chicago. So I've been watching it for quite a long time. So it's always interesting to see what cities they pick and who they pick and who they pair. The first couple episodes is like a snooze fest for me a little bit. So I kind of like fast forward it a little bit. And I know I'm not the only one because nobody really cares about how they pair together and what they want and what they need. Because at the end of the day, these experts kind of do a very good job of picking these people and pairing them together. And then they get together. And then all of a sudden they don't like the people that the experts pair with them, even though they show footage of them actually describing exactly what they want. And then that other person is exactly what they describe. And then all of a sudden they don't want it. But we'll get into that. So let's start off. They are maybe like towards the end. The next episode that's going to be appearing this week is actually Decision Day. So we're going to talk about everything that led up to the Decision Day, who we like, the drama, and what we think. So let's start off with the drama because that's where we need to start.
Well, you kind of need some backstory before the drama. So let's
All
let's
right.
go back a
All right.
little bit. So backstory before the drama. So
Let me know when
if
you're
you get
done.
backstory,
I'm
yeah,
about to sneeze.
backstory before the drama is you remember last season the castmates they kind of like met off camera and decided what they was and was not going to do on camera. So in the beginning of this season, the experts made it a focus to give people exactly what they want, right?
Right.
Exactly what they want. So if you're giving everybody exactly what they want because you don't want to happen what happened last season because that was tomfoolery. If you don't want that to happen, then you go through and it's very intentional. So there were a couple couples I was like when they were matching, I'm like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. And the ones that I said wasn't gonna work is the ones that's working. So
Really.
so that's the backstory to this season, right? So you want to get into the drama first, or you want to?
I want to talk the drama because that's when I really started to perk up. That's when I really started to like watch the show and get interested in it. Like when the drama starts. I don't watch these reality shows for fairy tales and happiness. I watch them because I want to see drama. I want to see chaos. That's what I want to see is reality TV. So they can keep all the little fairy tales and the little love stories. I'm okay with seeing one love story, right? But everything else better be straight chaos from start to finish. That's why I watch these shows. So let's start there.
Are you so dramatic? All right, so I'm gonna say the most controversial drama is David and what's her name? Michelle.
Madison,
Well, David, Michelle, Madison.
the
It's
love
a
triangle.
triangle.
Yeah,
They
love
love a
triangle.
triangle. And I'm gonna say this up front. I feel really bad for Alan, right? Alan got paired with Madison. He was doing all the things because he wanted it to work. He was, he done every time she would tell him to change something, he would change it. He was waiting up late for her. She's like going out and stuff, and then they would talk about it. And you, like, when you're first watching, you assume that she's trying to work on it too until they get to the couple's retreat. And then that's when the show starts playing all these different things that's not making sense. So David sent Michelle a text message, right?
Right.
And David is just a bad liar. When she asked him about it and he said he was talking about food, I was like, he lying. It's no way. This guy is straight lying. Even when I asked you about it, I was like, what you think about that lie? You was like, it's not believable.
Right.
I mean, you're gonna say that your cousin, you sent that message to your cousin because she sent you a picture of some food, and then Michelle went on her women's intuition, right? She kept asking about it, and I don't blame her. So I'm gonna say that it's a weird thing for a woman to have women's tuition, because if 9 times out of 10, if a woman asks you something multiple times about the same thing, she almost already knows the answer, or she gonna keep digging until she get the answer. And
Right.
once she called the cousin and the cousin confirmed that he was lying, I was like, oh my god.
Right.
And then David's explanation as to why he did it, because he wasn't getting the attention from her and she wasn't trying. Sir, you just made yourself the villain, because all before that happened, Michelle was the villain because she was not trying to hear nothing that this dude was trying to say, do, or anything to make it work, because she just didn't like him. Once they got to the wedding and he said he lived in his parents' basement, it was over. Period. You disagree?
No, I agree with you on that. She like from day one, she could not get over the fact that he lived with his parents in the basement, so she couldn't get over that as well. But David has to go down as one of the worst liars in the world. Like that lie that he told it wasn't even believable from jump. When he first said it, I was like, bro, you lying. You're lying. And the point is, like, he didn't even have to lie about it, because the way he was feeling up until that point was that Michelle actually kind of gave him an out anyway, because she wasn't really feeling him. She wasn't giving him the time of day. So he was kind of justified at that point of maybe looking outside the marriage, because he wasn't really getting what he needed to get.
Well,
However,
I
we don't condone
disagree.
cheating. We don't condone cheating.
Okay.
But like I said, that was a reason for him to not even lie, because like she asked him, right? All right, what's up with that text message? He could have been totally honest with that. All right, yeah, it was for another female. And then that would have brought out the discussion. All right, well, why you texting another female? And then they could have had that discussion. They could have addressed exactly what he is missing from her, and then maybe they could have like went on and been
No.
happy after that point.
Here's how it should have went down. Before he even sent the text message, bro should have been like, "Can I have a divorce?"
Right.
Period.
Okay.
Then you could text who you want to text. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we don't condone cheating here. It's a, for me, red flag.
Right.
Once you do that, I can't be on your side. And then not, he went so far as he lied to the other guys on the cast too. So like you got these guys taking up for you, and like one of the ones that is taking up for you, yo, you texting his girl. This is the
Right.
first time in Married at First Sight history that they've had infidelity amongst the couples. And in my opinion, infidelity can go several ways. It could be physical, and it can also be emotional. Like that's emotional cheating.
Right.
And
But
granted,
Michelle ain't innocent
Madison
though.
didn't.
Michelle ain't innocent
She,
because she was making
how
him
is she
feel a certain
innocent?
way up until that point. Then
No,
all of a
no,
sudden she
that's not his.
cares. All of a sudden she cares
No, I'm
because another
saying
woman
he
is
should have just
interested.
called it quits. He should have called it quits. Period. Period.
Fair
So
enough.
like, yeah, she was the villain at first, and the experts they got on her too, because she kept saying this is not what I asked for, and what did they do? They did the playback, and every single thing that she asked for was what David was, right?
Right.
But like he was putting on a whole facade for the show, trying to be like this person wanting to hang out and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, he was done. So if you're done, sir, don't go message somebody and then lie about it. Just get out of it, be done, so you can go about your merry business. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like, yeah, she was the villain at first, and yes, she was wrong, and yes, she tried to say that she was gonna start trying, but look, too bad, so sad, too late.
Right.
Period.
And I would like to know how early him and Madison really started to get along, and how long they was really kind of texting, because it seemed like it was going on for quite a long time. And even when they got back to after the honeymoon, then they went to the gym. They did that fairly early, right when they got back from the honeymoon. So was they kind of like kikiing together on the honeymoon? Because obviously we know Madison wasn't really feeling Alan kind of from the jump too. So how
hmm
early did they really start communicating? How early did they really started to put that plan in motion of liking each other?
Well, really, if you look at how Married at First Sight, their editors and producers, what they did is they showed all the clips where David and Madison were pretty much hanging out. So they went to the gym. and we're talking
Mm,
about things on the little honeymoon thing. When they got back, they was meeting up at the gym and working out together. They were going out to the bars. Remember, they involved Karla in this because Karla had went out to the club with them that night that the text message happened. And then like they were just going out, and then like you see Madison coming in at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, 3, 4 times a week. So like who knows, and who knows if they're gonna be honest. Dr. Pia called them out on it, at the last episode. So you never know what's really what because like you gotta wait until like after the show is over
mm,
when all this stuff start coming out. And then like David, this guy is like he's just not smart. So like, okay, so you just ended Alan's marriage, and like Alan, bruh, is good because when he came out and he kicking the cabinet and burning
mm.
pictures and doing all that other stuff. When David told him that he had feelings, David is very lucky, like damn lucky, that Alan ain't punch him in the face. Because
Right.
any normal guy might have got a little physical.
Well, I
I
don't
don't
know because
condone
any
violence.
normal guy wouldn't even be like, "Okay, chick, I'm gonna go tell your husband that we've been messing around." What? No normal guy would want to do that. They've been to push that responsibility on her. Like, no, that is your job. You go tell your man that we was messing around and yada yada, and I go take care of the girl that I've been married to, and I tell her like, ain't no way, ain't no real man's gonna tell another man that they've been messing with their other wife. Like, because if that
But
was
that's
me, somebody told
also
me that, I would sucker punch him and call for the chick to come downstairs real quick. Like,
Yeah, but that's also, and I think I had told you this, like when David and Madison were in the room and they were quote unquote saying, oh, they have feelings for each other. I felt like that conversation was staged. So they both went into separate rooms. They text each other, like, yo, so for the cameras, we need to kind of confess because, like, we look real stupid right now. So let's go in there and pretend like we ain't been hooking up. And let's go put in front of the cameras, like, oh, I have feelings for you. Oh, yeah, I have feelings for you too. Like, I felt like that part was staged and for the cameras. But,
mm,
like, yeah. Madison, she was a chump because she never should have let David go approach Alan. Like,
right,
never period. And I don't blame Alan for not wanting anything to do with Madison at that point because he gave her plenty of times to be like, yeah, I'm not feeling this. And they could have went their separate ways. Like it's been multiple occasions where he, pretty much could have said what he said,
right.
right?
Yeah, and like you say, he was willing to like let her out of the marriage like way early. He kept dropping
Hmm.
those hints like, "Yo, if there's ever a day that you're not feeling me or this, like, let's just go ahead and cut it. Let's just go ahead and cut it and end it." But Madison never did that.
Yeah.
She just kept it going.
He could have respected her a lot more if she had done that. And then like, after it's all said and done and they come back from the retreat, she's trying to text him playing the victim. I just want to explain myself. Like, what is there to really explain? You did what you did. You like who you like and
Right.
bruh's not really trying to hear nothing that you gotta say. Like,
Right.
period.
He definitely was
So
on like trying to change for her the clothes situation, spending 3K on clothes, get this little the little Invisalign with the
and
teeth. Like he literally was trying to do
mm-hmm.
everything that he wanted, like he could to like make her happy. Like he was going to the gym, right? Something that he never really
Mm-hmm.
did. So he was on board with changing to fit into her type of guy mode. Like, but she did him dirty.
Exactly.
She did him
She
dirty.
did. She did. She did. All right.
And
So yeah. So there's like in my opinion, a lot of drama between the whole triangle, right?
right.
But I'm gonna tell you the other part of the drama of the show that gave me like big happy energy. This last episode
Mm,
with MM and a KG, aka Ike, right?
right.
When they got in front of the experts and she read that letter, I was over here screaming. She read that man for filth. You hear me? And
Right.
like he want to make it be like, oh, you see, this is why I don't want to be with her. She treats me like garbage, sir. The whole season, you was treating this girl like hot garbage, and now she's standing up for herself, and you want to be like, oh, see, this is why I can't be with her. Okay, could she have flipped out, on him, off camera? Yes, I'm gonna say that she probably did, maybe once. But like he wasn't feeling her from the moment he saw her apartment and realized she was a successful woman. Like just based off of how they did the editing and the cameras, like at the end of the day, he was rude. He was rude
Right.
to her family and friends. Like when he described her as aggressive, me being a black woman, I wish someone if they say, "Oh, describe," if they said, "Rich, describe your sister," and you said aggressive, I'd probably fight you.
I think their relationship went south like from the very beginning when he was intimidated by her coming on to him back when the honeymoon, like that kind of like started all this back in the way. It's like, hey, why you coming on to me, and yada yada yada. Like as a man, I don't know why he would be afraid or something like that. I mean, and I do understand that, hey, they just met each other, so I can understand why he didn't want to go there. But I think at that point, that's when they really started to take a downhill turn. Like as far as the ladder and stuff like that, she kind of was aggressive a little bit, and she kind of did prove
I'm
his point.
glad.
However, she needed that moment to really get the point across to him and to everybody else on how bad he was treating her. So at that moment, I think she was aggressive, but it was well deserved. He damn near asked for that by the way he was treating her through the whole episode. He for sure was intimidated
He made a
by her
fool of himself
success.
several times.
Right,
Number one, when he came to like that couple's dinner, the anniversary dinner. Like, what you come there for if you didn't want to talk to everybody? Like, just don't come, right?
right, yeah,
Number two, when he came to the retreat with those half-ass divorce papers, like, bro, you could have looked at what you brought there. Like, why did you need to, like, you tried to make a fool out of her twice. And, like, I don't blame her. She flipped. Oh, yeah,
right.
no, I'm not signing that. I don't blame her. I might have would have had the same reaction, but, like, when she called him a clown, like, okay, that was a bit much. It was funny. It was a bit much. But, like, at the end of the day, like, when you get someone's like knee jerk reaction after being treated badly, even if it's something that he didn't like from a physical standpoint, right? You're adults and you went on Married at First Sight, right? You have those conversations and you get over it. But if you keep dwelling on it, which is probably what he did, and he don't want to move past it, like how are you supposed to get to know each other if this woman don't ask you questions? How are you
Right.
mad because someone asks you questions? Make it make sense.
And this is not the first time he's actually been on the show. Like he tried out the first time and didn't get it, but now the second time he was successful in getting on it. So he knew exactly the format of the show. He knew exactly how it probably really was going to go down and how it was set up or whatever. So he really had no excuse at all because he knew about the show. And like I said, I think it went wrong from the very jump. And I definitely think he was 100% intimidated by her success, intimidated that she really wasn't like, all right, Ike, what do you want? Like, what do you need? Like, I'm here to serve you. Like, I think he really wanted somebody to serve him because in the very beginning, remember the whole, what was it, making dinner or something like that when they got in the argument over that because I guess she did it because he didn't or something. I got to go back and watch
Right.
it.
So she
Right.
ordered the whatever. He was like, "Oh, well, I could have cooked." And so she's like confused at that point cuz she's like, "Oh, but did you say you wanted to cook? You didn't say anything like that." So like, "Sir, how are you upset
Yeah.
when she took some initiative? Like, you really got to get over yourself." Like,
Yeah.
partnerships. She was trying to do things to make it easier for him. And like I said, I don't know what their schedule was and I don't know what happened with the camera, but like even when she asked him the question, like, "Did you say that you wanted to cook?" And he got mad with her for asking him that. I was just like, yo, something is wrong with him. It's almost like he wants a wife to be submissive. And if that's what he wanted, he should have said that
Right.
because they didn't pair him with anybody that was going to be submissive. And she might have would have like catered to him and all that other stuff because she was very much so like my husband, my husband, my husband, my man, my man, my man
Right.
type of chick. But like after a little while, she got tired of that. She couldn't my man, my husband anymore because like she got tired of how he was treating and like the way he moved out and the way he showed up to that anniversary dinner, like all of that.
Right.
Like just like she said, yeah, I'm gonna give him his divorce, but I need like legit papers to sign.
Right. She definitely was she gave him plenty of opportunities to act right and she just like at some points in episodes I was like, yo, why are you begging for this man to move in with you? Why are you begging this man to give you the attention that you want or whatever? Like, why are you doing that? And she just kept giving him opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And he just kept shitting on her every single time he could. Like she really was trying to work it out. Even though she kept getting treated bad like that, she really started to work it out until the very end. Then she just crashed out a little bit. Like I said, little aggressive, little crash out, but in that type of situation, totally understandable why she did that because of the way
I was
that
here
she was
for
being
all of
treated.
it.
So I
I
loved
loved
it.
it.
I the man was a red flag from the beginning anyway because not only that, not only when she was trying to like I don't know, trying to bang him or whatever, but remember the moment when he was like, "Oh, that's my homie," and then she kind of like stepped back and at the retreat, no, at the what was it, honeymoon, when he's like, "Yo,
Mhm.
that's my homie," and I think that's where it kind of like took a turn as well because they were still fresh off the wedding, like, bro, now you calling her your homie, like
Mhm.
his
Mhm.
communication is bad from the jump. So I think that's where they
Right.
kind of had issues at was a communication mainly on him because he would do
Mhm.
things and say things and be like and wonder why she mad. Like what? Like
Right.
you go on a homecoming trip to college homecoming and you don't even call her or even like try to invite her your new wife. You don't even try to invite your new wife to go out to a college homecoming. You be like, all right, I'll be back in a couple of days. Like what woman
And you
ain't
don't
gonna
wear your
get
ring.
yeah, and what woman ain't gonna get mad about that? Like
Mhm.
especially a newlywed, and you're already having
Right.
problems up until that point. Like
Mhm. Right.
he was crazy. All right, so
Yes.
what else? We got Karla and Juan. Like, what do you think about them before we get into decision day?
I think Carla's all, let's clear and cleanse the atmosphere. And I don't know, Carla, wow. Like, when she quit her job, I was cracking up because Juan was like, "You did what?" I think Juan is very structured and Carla is very like, woo, woo, woo. Like,
Right, she's a
and it's
wild one.
kind of hard. She's a wild one. It was so funny. I was talking about this to my cousin yesterday, and she said it's going to be a couple reasons why Juan and Carla don't make it. I think they're gonna say no on decision A. And I'm gonna tell you her wild theory. So you know how like Carla's family wouldn't come on camera and do all that other stuff?
Right.
She said, allegedly, what if Carla's family is the cartel? They can't be on camera like that. And that might be why Juan is uncomfortable doing certain things because Juan don't want to lose his life for, dishing over Carla. So if he say yes on decision day, then that might be why, because he's scared. And then number two, I also think it's that Juan can't be with a person who doesn't have the same lifestyle and goals as him, right? So I don't think they have the same goals. Juan is very much like this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen in this order, be successful, make money. My parents, came from nothing and I'm trying to be something with my partner. And Carla's very like much like I'm gonna quit this job because my aura and the stones and the sage said that I don't
Mm-hmm.
have to do it. And you never know when she gonna make a crazy decision that's gonna affect the both of them. Because when you're in a partnership, you just can't willy-nilly quit your job. Imagine me, coming home and telling my husband, like, yeah, I quit my job today. It ain't gonna work. And that's kind of like where Juan is. And then like Carla needs affection. So just off of that alone, I think she should say no on decision day because you know what married at first sight is. And I get Juan may not want to do stuff in front of the cameras and be respectful, but like you can't hug this lady, you can't hold her hand, like you can't come in and kiss her hello. Like they not really doing anything that's like setting the tone for like a successful marriage. So like I just don't think they're gonna make it. I think both of them are gonna say no, but if anybody says yes, I think it might be Juan because he might be scared.
I mean, that's a wild theory. I ain't even heard of that one before. I mean, my theory was why her family didn't want to be on camera was that they just really ain't agree with her being on the show and getting married like that. That's typically how normal that stuff. I mean, normally how that stuff goes when the family or people don't appear on those type of shows. They be like, "Well, I don't agree that he doing that, so no, I don't want to be involved and be on camera." So that's a wild theory. I never thought about that one. But as far as
Very
them,
wild.
I mean, I don't think they, like you said, I don't think they are building towards a marriage or the future because everything that they do, the conversations that they have, never really involve a marriage type conversation or action or whatever. Because yeah, it just doesn't. So that's them. That's Carla and Juan. What about Camille and Thomas? There's no drama between them. I mean, everything
You
seems kind
know,
of peachy a little bit. I
yeah.
mean,
So they remind me a lot of, um, they remind me a lot of Imani and Woody from
hmm,
a past episode from what is it, New Orleans? But I think they're gonna make it. I know you don't think they're gonna make it because of the age gap and blah 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 blah. But I think that Thomas will pretty much do anything to make Camille happy, to like have a happy marriage and partnership. And I think that Camille kind of needs someone like Thomas who's very low key or whatever. Like, yeah, she do want him to be a little bit more. I think honestly, as long as she tells him like what she wants, I think they'll make it. They both want kids, and seems like Thomas want them fairly soon, and it doesn't seems like Camille minds. I think that Camille likes that he's very intentional. The one thing that probably Camille doesn't like is he's very laid back, but in laid back and so that sometimes it's hard to see him lead. But I think if he needs to put his foot down on something, I think he would. But it's just like
Mhm.
he hasn't been in a situation for that. So like one example would be like, their living situation after decision day. Like, are they gonna live or sublet one of their apartments, or are they gonna get something?
Mhm.
She wants him to take the lead on that, and and I think in his head he knows what they're gonna do, but because he hasn't like voiced it and just straight up said like, no, we gonna live together, I'm gonna live here or you gonna live there. I think she's bothered by that, and he just pretty much needs to do whatever. But I do think that they're gonna make it after decision day, no matter what the age gap is.
I mean, only thing I don't like about the age gap, like I said, is that she likes to party and he's kind of like laid back or whatever, and she's more outgoing. He's kind of like just not like that. I mean, there's definitely a gap there, which is cool. Age ain't number but a number, but if it works out, good for
He
them,
likes to party though,
huh?
because like even when they went on a retreat, the two of them went to bed early. It wasn't no, oh, Thomas went to bed, so I went to bed. He just as much as laid back as him, so I don't think she's a party
I
girl.
mean, not like a party girl, but she's a wild one. She's a wild one. She's only 30, and that's understandable. Like she's in her prime, so she could be a wild one. He's kind of like laid back, or he doesn't know. Uh, Whatever. We'll have to wait and see what happens with them. But decision day is coming. Let's get into some predictions before we end in the podcast here about the Married at First Sight. So first up, actually for decision day, it's only going to
It's
be
only
what,
two,
two
two
couples,
couples. Yeah.
right? So all right,
Uh-huh.
Juan and Karla. My prediction is they both going to say no, and probably the reasoning behind that is he just wasn't really feeling her after she quit the job, and like from the very beginning they just wasn't really compatible as far as like building on the marriage. Like she wants something different, he wants something different, and it's just they haven't really like, even over the last couple episodes, they really haven't like talked about any of that type of stuff. Where they gonna live, how they gonna do this, how they gonna do that. They just kind of been like friends a little bit. Like I don't know, I think they both say no. What about you?
Um, I think they both gonna say no too. At first, I was thinking like maybe he says yes and then she says no. I think that one thing that would make him say yes is if he thinks that once the cameras are off, he can make it work with her better. But
Right.
yeah, I don't think that they're gonna stay together. Period.
I mean, based on exactly what you said, that he's a little bit more structured and she's she's a little bit more wild. I think that's what's really going to drive them both to say no, especially on his end, because you saw how shocked he was when he said, "Yo, you quit your job without telling me." Like I don't think he signed up to like carry somebody through a marriage or carry someone financially, especially a complete stranger that you just met. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, nothing in the last couple episodes since that moment has really built up to them improving or strengthening their marriage relationship. Everything's been
Right,
kind of
and
like
she's
whatever.
yeah. Not only that, she's very very sexual. Like she couldn't even take the pottery thing serious without making like sexual comments. And like yeah, he
Right,
thinks it's funny, but he doesn't even really like play along with her in that sense. And I'm just like, this is weird. He's not feeling her like that, like sexually. Maybe he's not attracted her to her. Like who knows, you know? Like
right,
he'll say, yeah, she's a beautiful girl, but he's also a respectable guy.
right. So, all right. So that's Juan and Carla. What about Camille and Thomas? You want me to go first?
Yes.
I think for these two people, and this should be a shock to what I'm actually going to say because I think I told you this before, but I think Camille is probably going to say no because Thomas isn't necessarily what she really wants in a husband. Like taking the lead. He's too quiet. He is too like leaving it up to her a little bit. And I think she wants somebody to be dominant and to like someone that she can follow. Yes, she can follow Thomas, but that's only after she told Thomas exactly what she wanted. Like she got to kind of like train Thomas up a little bit. And I don't think she's ready for that. I don't think she's ready to train up Thomas. And
I'm gonna say
yes,
yes.
that age gap probably is a big play in that, but you could train a man, but I don't think she's ready to train a man right now.
I don't think Thomas need to be trained. I think he know exactly what he want to do, and I also very reserved because of them cameras. I think it's a yes, and I think they stay together, and I think they have pretty children, and it's gonna be happily ever after. The end.
So you say Thomas know what to do, but he been so quiet and so reserved this entire episode, this entire experience. Like normally men come on here and be dominant and like strout a little bit. Like he just been kind of quiet, which ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with the little shy guys and reserve guys. But if you have a female that's kind of like hinting that, hey, she wants you to take more of a lead, like she wants you to like speak up and like do those type of things, you think he would step up and do that. But he ain't did that at all this whole season. He just continues to sit back and like let her take the lead. But that's not kind of what you want.
Time will tell. We're gonna see on Tuesday. I think they're gonna make it. I think they both gonna say yes, and it is what it is.
I think he would probably say yes, and then she would probably be like, well, Thomas, I don't know. I'm gonna have to say no on this. So I think she says yes. I mean, she says no, and he probably says yes. I guess. I wouldn't be surprised if they both say no, based on the fact that, hey, they're in two different parts of their life. He's older, she's younger. Again, age ain't nothing but a number. I'm not discriminating on age gaps or whatever, but based on how it's played out on TV and how they've been going about it every episode, there's a problem right there. There's a problem. So, okay. All right. So we only had two couples already to discuss, but if we had a third, a wild card couple, Madision and David.
Madision, David. Gonna make it.
You think they're gonna make it?
That's a big no for me. Because I think even after the experts talked to them together, and David was, I have butterflies, and when I think of you, blah blah blah, and then Madision was all like, I just want to make sure that we're friends, and blah blah blah. I think the way things happen, kind of like, yeah, I could be your friend, but I can't be with you because I'm the villain here or whatever. And like, yeah, it showed in the previews that Madision tried to pop off at Michelle and stuff like that, but like, I don't think they're gonna make it. I don't at all.
Yeah,
I mean, the way they got together is wrong.
Not only that, but for David, I think he's gonna probably get his feelings hurt because I think he's still okay with trying to pursue Madision a little bit, but because Madision feels so horrible about how the Allen thing fell out and how that is going, that's what's really going to cause her to say no to David at the end, because she didn't I don't know how she didn't see it coming, but it came and she did it. She handled the situation horribly, and now she feels even worse about how she hurt Allen. So I think that's what's really going to interfere with her and David really getting together. And like I said, he's pretty persistent on trying to be with her, but I think that situation there on how she hurt Allen and how Allen reacted to it is going to be the huge barrier on why her and David can't continue to be together.
Period. I agree.
But overall, we're looking to Married at First Sight Decision Day. So it's going to be interesting. And then after that, they have, is this an end, right? It's an end, right?
So they're going to have Decision Day, and then like a week or so later, the reunion.
Do you think Ike is going to be on a reunion?
I hope he do. And I hope everybody go off on him.
I mean, but the other couples ain't really like know too much about him. He wasn't really around.
Yeah, but like, he wasn't really around, but like they feel a certain type of way with like how he's been doing things. So I think he'll be on there. Do I think he'll get up and walk out like a coward? Yes.
Yes. Wow. All right, so Married at First Sight, Siblings Unscripted podcast, me and my sister. So if you watch the show yourself, make sure you drop a comment. Make sure you react to what we just said. And if you have your favorite couple, or if you think we was wrong about any of the couples, and drop your decision on what you think is actually going to happen on Decision Day. Who's going to stay together? Who's going to break up? What's going to happen with Madision and David? And let us know in the comments, and we'll make sure we respond on the next episode. But Siblings Unscripted, make sure you follow, subscribe, turn on your bell icon so you get a notification when I drop another video. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode.